Okay. You ready?
Hi, yes. Hi,
Okay.
my name is Barbara Hawkins Dixon,
And I am Darlene Mayman.
and we are the authors of Substance of Building a Healthy Relationship.
And good morning to everyone. Good morning. We're glad to be back on here today. Our topic today is going to be why do good people suffer in a relationship? Barbara.
Yes, I also want to introduce our guest speaker today, Diane Smith, who will be joining us on this topic today uh, to express some of her thoughts about this topic.
Good morning. Good morning, Diane, and thank you for coming in with us today.
Good
This is
morning.
good. So, can you give us some things that maybe you can share that explains why good people be in bad relationships?
Well, I feel like people take kindness for weakness, and if
Yes.
we don't stand up for ourselves, we'll fall for anything.
Yes.
And trust me, I fell for a lot of anything.
I think we all have, Diane.
Right.
And, I'm trying to contain myself and be a lady. I think I'm telling you what God wants you to know, child. But Barbara, I have Barbara back. You know what? Didn't realize how angry
Uh-huh.
I held this, suppressed this anger.
Hmm.
But since you all made the book, I read the book, and Barbara and I we have discussions, and I watch your all's podcast.
Hmm.
I realized I was holding a lot of anger in. It don't
Okay.
to me that I was over. No, the
Hmm.
marriage over with, and he's gone on,
Hmm.
and I've gone on.
Hmm.
But having these discussions, Darlene, trust me, it unleashes the beast.
Yeah.
I go from 0 to 100 so
I
fast.
be,
She laughed at me. I don't
uh-huh.
even realize it until she started laughing.
Uh-huh.
How angry that anger is still. It's like it's tucked away somewhere, but
Hmm. Hmm.
one little conversation it brings that anger.
Yeah. I think too, a lot of times too, and I feel you with that, Diane, because you think that even though you're not still in that relationship, but you still think about the things that you were put through. So you try to overcome it, and you do until that topic comes up again. And then it brings that feeling back to you because you realize the things that you had to go through. It's good that you're not dealing with it again, but I believe that sometimes it's still in us, no matter how long it's been, you're gonna always have that feeling that way that person had treated you because you asking yourself, what did you do to get yourself in that position? And you know that you've been the best that you can be, but that you wasn't getting back what you was giving out. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel you on that because I find myself sometimes like that. You have to question yourself like, what did I do? I know I did my best. I know I was good. I know I tried to make things work, but you trying to understand why all the goodness that you gave out, it was not given back to you. So it never leaves you. You can get over it, but it comes back all the time.
Right, especially when certain things triggers that.
Yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
like you say, you think you over it, but then all it takes is one thing
Yes.
to bring it all back, and
Mm-hmm.
just see the clear picture of everything that not only that they put you through is what you allowed yourself to
Yes.
go through
Yeah. Yeah.
because uh, for whatever reason it is that you stay in a bad relationship. People have different reasons of why they say it, but it
Mm-hmm.
all ends up the same way. It's building animosity on the inside because when
Mm-hmm.
you pouring all you have uh, into someone, and then you're not getting that back in return, that
Mhm.
just builds a lot of, emotional trauma to you.
Mhm.
Like you when you get to question yourself, why is it I can't get, the simple things, you know, uh that you want, from your mate when you have been there for your mate all through the rough times, through
Mhm.
everything. But
Mhm.
then when a lot of times when they get on their feet, then it turns out to be you get nothing back in return. So now you looking at yourself as feeling like how stupid you were
Mhm.
to pour all of this to someone and not get that back under no means.
And that's
Yes.
what angers me so.
Mhm.
Uh, I got married young. And when I think about, oh, I was married 23 years.
Uh-huh.
And most of those years was bad years. And
Mhm.
I get so, I'm mad at myself.
Mhm.
I'm more mad at myself than him because I allowed him to treat me this way.
Okay.
Darlene, I could actually, if I could take my foot, I would kick myself.
I feel you.
I
I feel
would,
you.
yes, because I'm so mad at myself. Like I was telling Barbara, if I had, I actually left my husband,
Mhm.
but listening to other people,
Mhm.
I went back.
Okay. Okay.
When I left, I had two children.
Mhm.
Went back and had two more children.
Okay.
Well, I should have stopped.
Mhm.
The joke was still trying, and stayed. And and then we make up excuses while we stay with
Yeah. Mhm.
I I use don't want no other man over my children.
Mhm.
Uh, so many different excuses, but really we make it up. It's really us that don't want to.
Yeah.
You is the excuse, but it's really us that don't want to leave.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'm telling you, I could just kick myself because who knows? I could have met someone else
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
remarried. All the opportunities and what I
Mhm.
missed out on my young years,
Mhm.
and that's what angers me now at this age.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
know if I, want to remarry and do all this.
over again, huh? Well, you know what? By listening to you, I have to, share this with you. You can't, you know, blame yourself. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of us women today too. We when we love hard, and and you expect for it to come back. So we try to stay in the relationship, as much as we can to make it better, and it's not that we can't be out on our own, but marriage is solid. It's supposed to be solid, but not all marriages is good though. Right? Not all marriages is good, and sometimes we stay in it because we want to fix that relationship. We want to make our marriage better, but then we have to realize we putting all ourselves into it, and we not getting it reciprocated back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling you with that but I don't want you to think that it was you. It wasn't you. You loved it, your husband, you wanted it to work, and I mean that's what it's about. But within all of that, we also first have to love ourselves. And that's what
Absolutely,
you
absolutely. Let me
yes,
say,
yes,
yes, my
yes.
mother
Uh-huh.
after we separated,
Uh-huh.
I sat in my living room on the couch just like this, and I could hear my mother thought about something my mother told me and my sisters too.
Mm-hmm.
People say, look in the mirror at yourself and tell yourself, give yourself a hug and say, I love me.
Mm-hmm.
And I could hear my mother telling me that just plain as day. I got up, went in the bathroom, stood there, and wrapped my arms around myself. And I told myself, I love me. Yeah. I went, sat back down on the couch and took a deep breath. And the house was just so peaceful.
Yeah.
It was gone. And I looked around and said, wow, nothing like a peace of mind. No, arguing, sometimes people that do wrong, they'll come home and find the one thing that you didn't do and pick argument so
Yeah.
they can leave you back out.
Yeah, that's true. Right. That is true.
That when we did the topic on pour into people's that pour into you,
Right.
that discussion came up that you could do everything that you possibly could do and more for someone. But the one thing that you didn't do, that is what they will hold on to uh to allow themselves not to accept the accountability for their own actions.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, sometimes, you could look, I feel you could look at it in two different ways because our opinion about it is that when you stay like that, stay committed to someone that's not committed to you, I feel that it's not all that make it's not all they fault. It was your fault
Right.
because you allowed yourself. So you have a choice to stay or
Yes.
to leave. So if you stay, that's on you
Right.
because can't nobody make you stay. And
True.
so you have to like you say, stand for something or fall for anything. So when only you know when enough is enough. When you have done all you feel that you could have done, is doing what you do, and things are still not right, that means that it's not on you now. It's your mate. When you feel they not giving as much as you giving and sacrificing in the relationship.
That's true, Bob. I think too, it has something to do with setting boundaries too. You kind of set boundaries in your relationship and in your marriage because if you don't, the other person can take those things and run with like they just feel that they can do anything and say anything that they want to you. But when you set those boundaries and let them know what you're going to accept and not accept, it helps change a lot of things. Do you agree with that, Diane?
Yes, I absolutely do because my next relationship, which is
Uh-huh.
actually after my husband, darling, I didn't even want to be bothered with anybody for 5 years. I did not date or see
Uh-huh.
anybody for 5 years. That's just how disappointed I was.
Uh-huh.
And actually, the person I'm with now, I had been knowing him for years. We was friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very hesitant about a relationship with him. I actually told him I value. No, I don't think it's a good idea. I value our friendship, and what if it don't work? Then
Mm-hmm.
our friendship will be ruined. And he looked at me and said, "Woman, I don't have anything but respect for you." And, and I said, "Oh, all righty then."
Uh-huh. And that's
And
what it is. Yes, it has to be respect. It has to be whether with you and with that person because when you start to not respect each other, that's when the problems start. That's when they start. You have to set those boundaries and stop it when you see it. When you see it, you stop it right then and there. You don't let it just linger on, and then it becomes a big problem. Barbara.
and I, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well,
Yes, and that's why we find ourselves going through so much because of the fact that we keep giving chances after chances,
Yeah, yeah.
thinking that we could change things.
Mhm.
We continue, to be good, and devoted into the relationship or the marriage that eventually, your partner will come around and see your work. But
Mhm.
you can't look for, uh, through experience, you can't look
Right.
for someone else to see your worth. You have to already know your worth. So
Right.
when you know your worth
Right.
and
Mhm.
know, what you deserve and what you don't deserve, and
Mhm.
then if you're not getting that and you accepting that,
Mhm.
then you are not demanding what you are worth.
Mhm. Mhm.
I know I made up my mind. No other man would get away with what my husband got away with.
Man.
And and trust me, that next man, baby, I think
He better come. He better come correct, right?
you best to believe it, honey. You better believe, honey.
That's what I
When he
used to
get,
say.
baby, when he, I think he getting out of line, baby. I put my foot on his neck, baby. Yeah, honey. I put him in check. I cut the fool. You better believe. You got to. You got to make the
You have
difference,
to. I know
baby.
you have to, because if you don't set them boundaries, you accepting anything. You got to come in it with, this is what I'm going to accept. This is what I'm not going to accept. And if they don't like it, what you saying, then that ain't the relationship that you need to be in, because it has a lot to do with respecting each other. It does. Once that disrespect is gone, it's gonna be a big issue, because nobody is setting boundaries, nobody is respecting each other. And I'm like you, Diane, if you cannot come to me correct and you just cutting up, you got to go. There's the door. Bye. Because you can do bad by yourself. That's
Best
the
to
You
believe.
don't need to be in a
Correct.
relationship and
That's
you miserable, and you're not happy, and and every time you walk in your door you disappointed, or you don't know what the day gonna be. You don't need that, because that's taking your inner peace from you. So the best thing to do
right.
it is, and I love what you're saying, and I love that you share what you share, because you don't believe today it is so many women, while we on here, that's going through these things, that you talking about, or what we talked about in our book, and they not thinking of themselves. You got to know what you worth. That's the most important thing. You have to know what you worth. If you don't know what you worth, you're going to accept anything that comes your way. And sometimes we got to go through things to understand that. Sometimes your things that you went through, it's a reason for them, because when you go through those trials, then you learn from those, and then when you go into another relationship, you know what you're not going to put up with, in the next one, because of what you've been through.
That's
And
right.
also, I think a key point in this is, in a healthy relationship, is
Uh-huh.
your mate. If your mate don't have the mentality of looking at you in a way whereas they would prefer to see a smile on your face than a
Mm-hmm.
frown,
Mm-hmm.
that shows you right there, how they really feeling about you. Because when you
Mm-hmm.
love someone and when you into someone like that,
Mm-hmm.
then you want to see them happy, because when they happy, you're gonna be
That's
happy.
right.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
Be with somebody that wants to see you happy,
Mm-hmm.
and and like you say, you what you give it, what you give. So both want to need to be able to, you know, to want to see each other happy. So if you're not in a relationship like that, that's a problem.
We on the same
Yes.
accord. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Communication.
Yes. It's very important. Communication is very important. Diane, with our book, was there any of the subjects in that book that touched your heart, that made you think about some things as you read our book?
Girl, everything about that book touched my heart. Girl, I'll be up in the middle. Girl, look,
Uh-huh.
I was waiting on the next book. I was waiting on the next book. Girl, look, I couldn't put the book down, Darlene. Let me tell
Uh-huh.
you, girl, I would be in the bed with my man with the flashlight on, reading the book. Dark girl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
She said, girl, she said, when is part two coming
Girl,
out?
I had the flashlight on. I didn't want it to be. I didn't want it over. I had to. No, I didn't. And he would be like, "Girl, you out there bad."
I love it. I love it. And I
You out
love to
there
hear that.
bad.
I'm so happy that our book touched your heart, and I hope that it touches a lot of hearts because people out that book from the heart with experience that we've been through, and we know what it feels like to go through certain things, and we have to learn that it's about us first. We come first. Self-loving yourself is more important than anything. When you know what you're worth, once you know what you're worth, you're not going to accept anything else that's not worth coming your way.
Just like that drag queen RuPaul said,
Uh-huh.
how you hell you gonna love somebody if you don't love yourself?
There
Love
you go.
yourself first, honey. Love it.
That,
That's what
Yeah.
RuPaul. Yes, what RuPaul
and
said.
that's what
Yes. Yes.
we start with self-love, because if you don't have self-love, how do you expect somebody else to love you?
That's true. That's true. And you know what? And I think what we do too as women, we see things and we see the patterns, but we try to overlook them instead of just jumping into it once we see it because it's there. It's there. If the relationship is not good, it's there. But we try to overlook and overcome it because we want to see it work. But sometimes we stop our own blessings. We stop our own blessings because we see what they're giving back to us, but we just accept it anyway. When we should nip it in the bud, like they say,
That's
right then
right.
and there. Right then and there, stop it, right? Let them know, hey, this ain't right, this is wrong, I'm not accepting this. But sometimes we bypass all of that because first we don't want to have the arguments, we don't want to feel, like they thinking we being this way or we being that way. But in reality, we have to be that way because if
Yes.
you don't, that's when they would take the advantage of you and think that they can treat you any kind of way. And we can't get mad at them because we are allowing it to happen. We
Exactly
And
right.
allowing it to let them treat us that way when we don't have to accept that.
That's right.
right.
Exactly right.
And to make you, because so much of that uh misuse of abuse, whether physical, mental, whatever kind of way it is,
Mm-hmm.
after so long, that the way they treat you, you could allow a lot of people's a lot to get into them, into their spirit, and you
Mm-hmm.
start thinking badly about yourself, feeling like
Mm-hmm.
you're not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You only because of the way that you're being treated and the fact that you are accepting it. So it lowers
Right.
your self-esteem.
Yes.
Right.
But
Right.
you get to questioning your own self, like,
Mm-hmm.
why am I, you know, being so weak in this situation? Why am I
Mm-hmm.
allowing someone to treat me this way when
Mm-hmm.
I know I deserve so much more?
Right. You deserve more than yes. And that's what we have to tell ourselves. We deserve. I tell myself all the time, I know what I'm worth. I know what I deserve to have. I know what I'm not going to tolerate. You know what I'm saying? You have to tell yourself that constantly because if you don't, anything that come your way, you just going to accept it. You're going to accept it. And I realize too, a lot of times as you going into like a new relationship, you got to sometimes don't bring that old baggage into
Right.
what you've been through into the new relationship.
Oops,
Sometimes
okay.
yes,
They'll use it against you.
yeah,
Do
that's what I
not,
was just
do
going to say,
not
Diane.
discuss.
Yes,
Do
yes.
not discuss what
Do
you
not.
went
Some
through.
things you keep to yourself. You don't let everything be known that you went through, because a lot of times when you do that, they take that what you gave them, and they'll run with it, and it'll
Yeah,
always be thrown in your face.
Because
yeah,
Yeah,
you tell them thinking they will have empathy for
empathy
you,
right.
for you. Yes.
for you, you know,
Hey,
the white thing, they use reverse
yeah,
psychology. They taking it in like,
Hmm.
okay, she allowed this in this
right.
relationship, she
Uh-huh.
allowed that. So if she allowed him to do it,
So
or
why can't I?
Right.
do it, do it and get away with it too.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes,
So
true.
once I know that she have feelings for me, so that's why
Hmm.
you never take that baggage from your previous
No, that's
relationship to the new.
that's a
If
no
Yeah.
no.
someone asks you, well, why you and your mate is not together?
Hmm.
We're just not together. That's
Right,
all
and you
you need
leave it
to
at
know.
that. That's why you just leave it
That's
at
all
that.
you
Right.
need to know. That's
Right.
Yeah.
not your business why we're not together.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Right.
so, yeah, you can't tell, people's what
Everything.
she have
Yeah.
already been through.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a no no.
Yes. Yes.
It
So
is.
Diane, I'm so glad you on here today. So how are you? How I am. When Barbara told me when you was coming on, I was like, okay, thank you, God. We got one. Because that's what it's about. Because we want people to share their experience, because we don't know what people going through. And just like you on here today, somebody is listening to you and they saying thank you because you just made them learn something today. You understand? And so
Right.
it's so important when we do this. We, like you said, you waiting on book 2, we coming with it.
Yes.
We coming
Gotta
with
have
it.
that flashlight ready in the dark.
Yeah, we coming with, because you know what, it's amazing when you hear people's stories, and then you think about, well, wow, that person went through way more than what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's story is different, but
Yes,
everybody's story helped someone else.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
it's
when we
all
right, and that's why we do this what we do, and when we hoping for it to expand and get even better coming next year. We got a lot of things we want to do with this, because we can empower another woman by sharing our story and letting them know what's going on, because you don't know what people going through. And just hearing our story, Diane, just hearing your story,
it's
that affects a lot of people,
yes, but everybody have their own story. And
Yes.
so no matter what you think you're going through, you're not alone.
No,
There's
Right.
so many millions of other people that's
Yes.
struggling or going, through
Yeah.
different things in their life. Because like I
Yes.
say, it's no perfect relationship. We
Perfect marriage. No
already
perfect
know that
marriage. Yeah. Yeah.
because it's not no perfect people. So you're not gonna see eye to eye on everything.
right.
And
True.
and so it's the communication and
Exactly.
the dedication to each other that helps you
Mm-hmm.
get through
Mm-hmm.
those differences.
Right.
But if
Right.
you have a different opinion on something and you can't communicate it with each other to work it out, that's where the problem come in. And
Right.
so you have to, that's another key point. You have to have good communication in
Yes.
order for it to work. So
True.
you could understand my view, I can understand your
And
view.
that's it.
At the
Right.
end of the discussion, we might still see things different. But
Uh-huh.
we able to communicate it in a way where we could understand each other's view and why
Mm-hmm.
we feel the way that we feel. So
Right.
everybody is entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah,
You don't have to agree. Even in our discussion, I might say something that you don't agree with, or you
Mm-hmm.
might say something that I don't agree with. But that's our opinion. We two different people, so we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have
right.
different opinions about different
Right.
things. but we able to communicate that.
Right. And you know, and it's okay to not agree because you're not always going to agree with your significant other. You know, they might feel one way and you feel another way, but just knowing that you communicated that situation and you put it out there, whether they accept it or not, you let it be known how you feel. That's what's important because you're not always going to agree on everything. But when you get into a relationship and nothing never comes to a standstill or you don't come to an agreement, then you know right there tells you that this is not the relationship that you need to be in. Because if we can't figure out the problem and every time we discuss it, it leads up to more arguments and more arguments and nobody comes to an agreement, that's when you know you guys are not equally yoked with each other. And why? And that's where we make the error. Even though we see this, we stay in it anyway. And that's what we make our biggest mistake at, because if we ain't coming to no agreement and ain't nothing being settled, why you keep going through the same stuff over and over with somebody that's not going to communicate or agree with anything that you're saying? It's going to be their way or no way, and that's not going to work.
Yeah, I agree, Darlene.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when my friend and I we have a disagreement,
Mm-hmm.
we talk it out.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I can say, no, we may have a disagreement and go back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end, with us
Mm-hmm.
communicating,
Mm-hmm.
we never go to sleep mad at each other.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be. Yes, that's how it's supposed to be. Because it tells you don't go to sleep angry. You're not supposed to
Yes.
go lay down angry. Settle the issue before you go to sleep, because the next morning it's back to the same thing over and over. And you got that attitude, they got the attitude,
And that
and
just
nothing is
drains the
settled.
energy.
Yeah, the energy is, yeah. Yeah. Barbara.
Yeah, and just when you go to sleep, being angry, and then you wake up with the silence, you know, people
Barbara,
say together like a
can you
stranger.
can you hear me? Because your sound is going in and out.
Okay.
Come up closer. Yeah, move over some and come up closer, because I'm noticing the sound is you will go in and out with your sound and I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me good
Now,
now?
yeah, now I hear you good now. Yes.
Okay, yes, because the next day you waking up and you still have an attitude with each other. You walking around like you strangers in the
Yeah.
house, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's no your home's supposed to be your happy place.
Yeah. Home is your
And
peace. Yes.
yeah, that's your peace. And so you don't want that animosity in your home and draining you of your energy and
Mm-hmm.
making you feel a certain kind of way.
Walking
You
on
want
eggshells.
yeah, you want to be happy in your home. You want your relationship and marriage to work. But
Mm-hmm.
one partner cannot make the marriage work.
It
It
takes
has to
both.
be two.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
could give the sun, moon, the stars, and everything else. But if you're not getting that back, then it's still a failed marriage
Yeah.
because you're not on the same accord. You both
Right.
not pouring into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the key to making being in a healthy relationship is to being on the same accord and
Yes.
knowing that you could make it through anything. You done been through all different kind of trials and tribulations and
Mm-hmm.
different things.
Mm-hmm.
And like say, you're not gonna agree on everything, but
Mm-hmm.
respect each other's opinion
Yes.
because you have the right to your opinion.
Yes.
Okay, well, we see I can't convince you this way. You can't convince me your way. Okay, but we're gonna respect each other's opinion and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna leave it there. But you
Mm-hmm.
must be able to talk about it. If
Right.
you can't talk about it, that's what makes it bad. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That agrees to disagree. It's all right to
Mm-hmm. Yes.
communicate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the world to disagree, but
Mm-hmm.
communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
One person's feelings is just as one
Mm-hmm.
feelings, so you have to compromise.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of compromise.
It
And
does.
Yes, in a relationship, a lot of compromise.
Mhm.
But as long as you're not the only one that's doing the compromise,
Exactly.
see,
True.
that's when
It
it
takes
becomes
both
a
of you.
problem. When there's
Yeah.
only one person doing the compromise,
Right.
That's the
Right.
big problem.
you both have to compromise in order to
Mhm.
make it work.
Right. And that's when I go back to saying that you can do bad by yourself. You don't want to be in a relationship and there's no communication. There's always arguments. There's always something going on each and every day. You can't find peace in your home. Then, when you start seeing all of these things, you have to start telling yourself, okay, you know what? Either this is going to work or it's not going to work. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you just have to just say enough is enough and walk away to have your peace. Because once you get that peace within yourself, then it's going to hurt for a while. Of course it's going to hurt for a while because it didn't work out, but you at peace. You in your home and it's peace. Ain't no argument. You feeling good about yourself, and things are looking better for you. But when you just sit in these relationships and you know that it's not working out, you're not going to find no happiness. You're not going to find no joy. You're never going to be peaceful. And then you have to come to that conclusion. What am I worth? Am I worth dealing with this? And am I worth to have better than this? That's what you have to start telling yourself. And once
And
you
so,
learn that and you
Diane,
start loving yourself, yes, Barbara.
yeah. So Diane, uh, what made you get to the point where you say enough is enough?
When you get tired of being sick and tired,
There you go.
it's time for him to hit the road.
Yes. And I think she made that very simple and clear to you. When you get enough, when you get tired of sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's true. And you know what, Diane? And you know what? And once you get to that point, ain't no turning back.
And look,
You're done.
and when a woman said up,
Yes.
ain't
Ain't
nothing he can do
I
about it.
tell you
Right.
Look, my favorite song.
It was too
Everybody.
good song.
And ain't no coming back.
It ain't no
When,
coming back.
when I'm done with a man, I'm done. Ain't no coming back.
Done. Ain't no
And he
coming
done,
back.
and trust me, he done tried. He done tried, but
They
baby.
all do. Yeah, they do. But
He
you
best
know,
believe.
and that's when you know you got it.
Yeah,
That's when you
look,
know when we get
Darlene,
there, huh?
how you like my shirt?
Let me see what it say. I can't see it. I
I
can't
was
see it.
I was sleeping on myself, but now I'm woke.
That's it. Everybody need that one. Okay, because I'm telling you, once you know, Diane, it is the best feeling in the world when you know that you didn't had enough. And but like I said, sometimes we have to go through things that we go through till we get to the point where we have to say enough is enough. And once you say enough is enough, ain't no turning back. That's the most greatest feeling to have when you find peace within yourself. Because you think about all the things and then when you notice that the bad outweighs the good, then enough is enough. Why keep putting yourself through that? So Diane, I'm so happy you're on here today.
So, Darlene,
Yeah,
what
Bob.
is your point of view?
I can't hear.
What is your point of view on the fact of sticking with someone through all the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations, and then when they get on their feet, then it's like they want to make you beneath them.
Yeah, girl, you want me to go there?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
You want me to go there, Bob? You want me to go there?
Because I'm going to go there with you. 'Cause I know.
Yeah, listen, you know what? And that is hard because you can give your all. My opinion, you can give your all. You there for them through thick and thin. I mean, you didn't did everything in your power to make things just right. And then Barbara, like you say, they get on their feet and you don't matter. That shows you right there. You never mattered from the
You
beginning.
bet. That's right.
It was no love there from the beginning. You were just a convenience for
That,
them
exactly.
through the things that they were going through. They needed you to cover their little stuff. You know, you was like a cradle. You know, you was a cradle to them. They know that you weren't gonna let nothing happen. You know, they know that you had their back. You know, they know you ain't going nowhere. You gonna deal with whatever. But like you said, but then when they get on their feet and then they realize, oh, now I'm this, I'm that. I don't need you. And then, you know, then you really start getting treated like crap. That's when you know you never mattered in the first place. Because real love, a real man ain't gonna do that. A real man ain't gonna sacrifice and let you go through nothing or always see you hurting or, you know, treating you bad. A real man doesn't do that. He's gonna make sure that that smile is on your face 24/24, no matter what. I don't care if so they got on their feet. When they got on their feet, they're gonna make sure you higher on your feet. When they start belittling you and start acting like you don't matter, because I don't need you no more now. I got this.
Right.
They didn't want you from the beginning in the first place. You were there just for their cradle at the moment. That's when you know they got to go. Because you can do bad by yourself. And they showing you then their true color that you never mattered from the beginning anyway. You see what I'm saying? You just didn't see it. You didn't see, you seen it, but you didn't expect for it to go like that. But then they showing you, and then what's your next step? You gonna fool with this? You gonna continue to let them keep doing you like this? Or you gonna step and walk away? Which you gonna away? That's my opinion. Because me, I'm stepping and I'm walking away. Do you? I'm gonna do me. And we both gonna.
Okay.
I pray for you. I pray for you. I hope God got you and take care of you. I want nothing but the best for you. I don't hate you. I don't judge you, but I love me first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put yourself first.
Okay.
Put yourself queen, baby.
Okay.
There you go. That's right. You got it. And I'm telling you. And when you get there,
you have to, if you don't demand your respect,
you got to
you
demand
won't get
your respect. You won't get it. And
You
you will
won't
be
get
treated like anything. And never feel like, you know, I had this conversation with a couple of coworkers, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all this. They was talking about because sometimes at work, you guys, I get on little subjects with relationships because some of the coworkers have my book, right? And so they be asking me little things. And the lady said that she said, well, Miss Darlene, you know, things are not working now. He went his way, I went my way. Do you ever think that? I said, well, how do you feel about that? And she said, well, I'm at peace. I can tell you that much. I'm kind of hurt, but I'm at peace. I said, what does the peace feel like? She said, girl, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm so peaceful when I walk in my house. I don't even know what to do with myself. I ain't got to argue with nobody. I ain't got to do nothing, and I am by myself. But then she said, but do you think that God will bless me with a better relationship? I said, yes. Yes, he will. But the thing what you don't do, what we do, we pick instead of letting God pick. See,
Girl,
that's what we messed up at. I said,
yeah.
so she said, what do you mean by that, Miss Dolly? And I said, you know, we get these men and these guys that come into our life and they sugarcoat all their little mess and sweetie this and sweetie that, and bam. Okay, we got Mr. Right. When all along, Mr. Right was the wrong one. But in that time, God was already showing you he wasn't the right one. But you picking and choose what you want to do. So God sit back and say, okay, I'm gonna let you do you. Learn for yourself. And then when you realize that you didn't got into something bad, then you questioning God, and God like, why are you questioning me? I told you that from the beginning. So see, we see it, but oh no, I want that. I know God didn't. God said this, but I want to try it anyway. That's where we mess up at. Start letting God put in your life who need to be in your life.
You're right.
And stop putting on the blindfold.
Right. Everything. I remember my mama used to tell me everything that looked good ain't good for you. You remember that?
Oh yeah, that's a very old saying.
Right, because and then you could have been and tuck this person in, let the good one go, let the good one go that you should have kept, and then you didn't got this, and you be like, oh man, what the heck did I do? You know, you didn't messed up, but God was showing you anyway. We got to sit back and just stop searching and let God bring the right person to you, because you're gonna know when it's the right one, because God's gonna let you see it. And that's where we mess up there. We jump into relationships so quick without really getting to see what the person is about, you know, seeing, you know, what they capable of bringing to the table. We just jump into these relationships, and then we realize, oh shoot. And then you realize it become a cycle. Okay, now how come I keep getting these? What am I? You got to question yourself. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I keep getting these bad ones coming. You know, it's it's something with me.
Same type of
What?
guy.
Right. What am I doing that keep bringing these? It ain't like you're out there looking for nothing bad, because we ain't gonna look for nothing bad. But you keep noticing the cycle, like, okay, I didn't went through that with this one. Then I'm going through the same thing with this one, and then I got this one. What the heck is wrong with me? You know, you got to question. You see what I'm saying? Like, how come I can't get the good ones? Why I keep getting all the crazy ones? You know, you question yourself like that. But you just have to just sit back and just, you know, like you said, Diane, you didn't get into a relationship to like 5 years later, because you wanted to take that time that you needed to focus on you. And that's what we messed up at. Stop jumping from one relationship to another. Sometimes you got to just stop and take care of you first. Fix you first.
Yeah,
Fix all the things that
that's
you
so
went
true.
through. And because if you don't do that, you
Because
bring all that bad stuff
that's what
into
I
the new stuff.
put in the book, one of the chapters. You
Yeah.
have to take time to regroup,
Yeah.
to
Yes.
figure
And
out
then,
what part you played in the failed
yes.
relationship, because it's not 100% somebody else. To
Right.
see what part you played,
What part
because
you play?
learn from your
Experience.
own experience.
Okay.
If you never learn from your experience, you're going to keep repeating the same cycle, and you're going to keep falling for the same things.
True.
Of course, when you meet somebody, they going to always put their best foot forward. They
Yeah.
going to treat you this certain way. That's just to get you. And then
Yeah.
once they see that
Get
they
you.
have you, it's
A whole
reversed.
different story. Yes.
It's reversed. So you have to, learn from your mistakes. And that's what you
Yes.
don't keep repeating the same mistake. If you rushing from one relationship into the other one,
Right.
then you're going to keep getting the same thing.
And I have
Yes.
a friend of mine. Well, she's actually my daughter's best friend, mother. And I
Uh-huh.
guess she was really concerned about me not having
Uh-huh.
a man. And so I would go
Uh-huh.
around the corner and visit her. It was like in the summertime, sit on the porch. And she just kept trying to introduce me to different men, like she thought that I just had to
Yeah.
have. So she said, Diane, this is a good man right here. And so I stepped down off the porch and I turned around and looked at her. And I said, Cat. And the man was looking like he was all for it. I looked
Mm-hmm.
I looked up at both of them and I said to her, Cat, I don't look for a man. I don't choose a man. I like to be chosen. And if you could have seen the expression on her face and that man's face, and
Mm-hmm.
she never tried to introduce me to anybody else.
And that's right. And you told her right. And you
Yes.
told her right.
And
Barbara,
let
we're
me
gonna have to. I'm sorry,
To
you guys. We
end
coming to
this,
the end. We gotta
yeah,
end it. We
so we
almost
won't get
out.
cut off. But
Right.
it was so good having you as our
Yes,
guest.
Diane. Come on, listen. Not only this time, come on whenever you feel like it. We love that. We please, yes, join us, because we like that, because that's what it's about. We be wanting people to come in, not only you, but other people. Because when we get a group of people, the conversations become so good, and you get to see what other people are going through just as you are, you know? So thank
Right.
you for coming
Instead of
in with us,
looking
Diane.
at it
And you
as
are,
it's Darlene's story, it's my story,
yes,
other people's story.
everybody have their own
everybody got a
story.
story.
Everybody's
Yes.
story. Okay.
All right,
Well,
Bobby, we're gonna end it,
thank
y'all. We
you
love you
for
guys. We'll be back
joining us
again.
today.
Yes.
And you all have a great day.
Let yes. Diane, thank you again for coming in, hon. All right, sweetheart. Okay, okay, hello.
Bye bye.
Bye.